Okay guys, before we start this video I have two things to say, so before you skip ahead to the middle, listen to this. First of all, I have to apologize. I filmed parts of this video on different days, and in each one I talk kind of differently, mainly because I'm not a professional and I'm not used to talking exactly the same. Anyway, so I just thought I'd apologize for that. Might sound kind of funny. And the other thing is, I'm using an awesome screen recorder program called Open Broadcaster software, but it's not without its flaws. Often, if at the beginning of a video the screen goes black, so I just thought I'd warn you about that beforehand so that you knew. And that's about it. On to the video. Today we're going to be going over some of the new features in 1.7. Actually, we're going to try to cover almost everything that was added in 1.7. So if I just drop down here, we're going to start with the new blocks and items, and then we'll go into biomes, and then we'll go into other various stuff. So if I just get myself some dirt, bone meal, and these new saplings, I can show you this stuff. So, sorry, let me pick that up. If I go out here, I'll show you the new trees first. Here we have an acacia tree. So if I right click this a couple times, there it is. It's dark gray, or actually it's light gray, pretty much. Basically light gray. And it has an orange middle. And now if I take one of these and I can craft it into, I'm just going to go into survival. I can craft it into planks and get another one. And then these planks in turn can be crafted into all the usual stuff that you can craft with planks, like stairs and slabs and stuff like that. Pressure plates too. But so you can have this orange wood, whatever you want, and that is pretty cool. I'll just switch back into creative. Now next up we have the dark oak tree. So the dark oak is a 4x4 tree, so if you don't put this in a 4x4 combination, it will not work. So now I'll just grow this with bone meal, and there you go. That is the dark oak. Oh, I forgot to mention the acacia also has new leaves, but the leaves aren't that different from normal like oak leaves or something. So they're not that impressive. Anyway, here we have the dark oak tree anyway, and it's pretty cool looking. It's 4x4, it's thick, and it has these things sticking out. It can go to a couple different sizes and shapes. Some of them are a little larger and smaller. And now if we go into down back here to the crafting table, and I'll go back into survival again. Actually, first let me how can I do this? Okay, I'll go back into survival again, and then you can do just like the other one, and so then we have new planks for this too. Or whoops, that's not how you do planks. Dark oak wood planks, and so you can make slabs and stairs with that too, and it's darker than the normal wood, so that's cool also. And also we now have 4x4 spruce trees, and I'll just show you one of these. It's, sorry, I forgot I was in survival. Whoops. Okay, so if you put these in a 4x4 combination, and then there you go, 4x4 spruce, and it's ginormous. And for comparison, I'll go over here and plant a normal spruce, and you can see the difference. The giant spruce are huge and tall up the middle like a Douglas fir, and the normal spruce are not nearly so big. So that's all we have for new trees. And now I'll show you the new blocks. Now, these don't have to do with the new biomes, but I'll just show you them now anyway. We now have monster eggs for cracked stone brick, chiseled stone brick, and mossy stone brick. That's not really that important to most people, but I just thought I'd mention it anyway. So that way, if you're in a stronghold and a silverfish crawls into one of these blocks, it won't turn into a stone monster egg like it used to. Okay, so we have this new red sand, which generates in the mesa biome. Let me just clear up my inventory. We have this red sand that generates in the mesa mesa biome. It's exactly like normal sand, except you can't make sandstone with it, but you can make TNT, glass, and pretty much anything else you can make with normal sand. Okay, now we have this packed ice that generates in the ice spikes biome. The packed ice does not melt with torches, and that's about all there's exciting with it. You can only get it with Silk Touch. But now we have this new Podzol that generates in the Mega Taiga biome underneath trees, and it's similar to grass in that if you break it, you can, it just turns into a dirt block. But if you have Silk Touch, then it doesn't. And also, if I get a mushroom, mushrooms can be placed on it, so which means that you can, no matter, regardless of the light level, mushrooms can be placed on it, which is cool, because you can't place it on grass unless it's in the shade. Now, last of all, we have this grassless dirt that's in the Mega Taiga biomes. The grassless dirt does not grow grass, and for comparison, I put some grass along here, or I put grass blocks here, and then I had 3 dirt blocks and 4 of the grassless dirt, and the dirt blocks all grew grass, and the grassless dirt did not. I'm just going to let you take my word for it. You can't get it with this middle click either. You'll just get normal dirt, as you'll see. And it's not in your creative inventory. The only way to get it is /give user dirt. This is the new block ID system that I'll talk about in a minute. And then 3. And then you get, give name dirt, and then the number, of course, and then 3. So now I have this, and you see it doesn't stack with the normal dirt. It won't grow grass, and the reason for that is that they don't want the Podzol spreading out in the Mega Taiga. So now I'm going to talk about the new flowers. So we have this poppy. It replaces the rose, and if you put it in your crafting table, I forgot I don't have a crafting table. Put it in your crafting table, you get rose red, just 1. Then we have the allium, and so the poppy is basically the new rose. It's everything that the rose used to be. The allium is only found in a couple of biomes. It's pretty rare, and it makes magenta dye, not magenting, in your crafting table. Then the blue orchid is also fairly rare, and it'll make light blue dye in your crafting grid, as you see. And then the azure blue A is not quite so rare. It makes light gray dye. We have red, orange, white, and pink tulips that make red, orange, light gray, and pink dye. And then we have the oxeye daisy that also makes light gray dye. So all the white things make light gray dye. Now we also have these 2 block high flowers now. The sunflower, which will make you 2 dandelion yellow, and then the lilac, which makes 2 magenta, rosebush, which explains why they got rid of the small roses, because now we have huge roses, which makes 2 rose red dye, the large fern, which is pretty much nothing except that if you use bone meal on a fern, you get large fern, and bone meal on normal tall grass, you get double tall grass, and they're found in a few biomes, and that's all there is to them. But now with all of these big flowers, if you use bone meal on them, then you'll get another one of it. And as you see, it'll drop another one. So that's the only way to farm them, is like that. Okay, now that's it for the new blocks and items. And I'm going to go into the biomes now, and I'll see you after that. Now, I'm just going to fly around and talk about a few of the general changes to biomes. Each biome now has its own base temperature, and the temperature is based on, there's just a temperature system, and the temperature will range from like 0.5 to 2.0 or something like that. But, so each biome will, when it generates, it'll make sure that it's not next to a biome that's got a temperature too different from its own temperature. And they're kind of sort of sorted into 4 main groups, which is it's like snowy, cold, warm, and dry, or something like that. And the dry biomes don't have any rain, but that's the basics of it. Temperatures also vary depending on the height of a place. So about every 30 blocks it decreases by 0.05, which means that eventually you'll get snow. And in fact, if we change the weather to rainy, it'll start raining here, and you'll see that it's raining here, but above these blocks, it's snowy. And in certain parts, once I go up higher, it'll just be snowy. But when you go lower down, you can have both rain and snow at the same time, which is a little funny looking, but whatever, it's fine. New technical biomes like the jungle edge, that's the edge of the jungle, and they have stone beaches and cold beaches, and we're not going to go over that too much. There's an M variant of most biomes, and for the most part, it just makes it a little more mountainous. I'll go over a few of the ones that aren't like that, but that's what it is for the most part. Oceans have been made a lot smaller, and they're supposed to take up a lot less of the map. Jungles now spawn with melons in them. If you need to find some melons, they're just kind of randomly spread out in the jungles. Now the extreme hills have a lot more patches of stone, and they're also a lot more varied. Like, they don't just go straight up so much. They have kind of flat areas, and then they go up higher and lower. A little more fluctuation. A new variant of the Extreme Hills biome, which is the Extreme Hills Plus biome. It's basically an Extreme Hills biome that just has spruce trees. And that's about all there is to it. This is the Savanna biome. The Savanna biome has the new acacia trees, and it's a very flat biome, similar to the Plains biome. It has this kind of yellowish tinted grass, and also horses and villages can be in the Savanna biomes. But there is a very awesome variant of this biome, and that is the Savanna M biome. The Savanna M biome is huge, way bigger than the other M biomes and the normal Savanna biome, and there's a cloud over it right now, but as you see, it can reach way above the clouds, and it's actually been known to reach up to a Y of, I believe, 220. If you check the F3, here it is, it's at 184, but I believe it's been seen to go up to 220. And anyway, so this is really cool, huge biome, and yeah, it's just awesome. So that's the Savanna biome. Here is the Mesa biome. The Mesa biome is made, the floor is made of that new red sand, and it has these walls that are layers of 6 different colors of stained hardened clay. Well, plus 5 stained and 1 normal. So it has light gray stained clay, white stained clay, orange stained clay, yellow stained clay, brown, and normal hardened clay. And the floor is red sand, like I said. So it's just this really cool canyon. Yeah. And then one of the variants of it is the Mesa Plateau F assumedly for forest, and it just flattens out at the top and has a few layers of dirt and grass and trees, oak trees, I think. So that's the Mesa Plateau F. And the next variant that I'm going to talk about of the Mesa biome is the Mesa Plateau M. The Mesa Plateau M is an extremely rare variant, and it's actually just pretty much flat red sand and hardened clay. Truly a plateau, I guess. And there's not really much to say about it. It's kind of boring, unless you want to get red sand. But yeah, that's the Mesa Plateau M. The last variant of the Mesa biome we'll be talking about is the Mesa Bryce biome. The Bryce variant of the Mesa biome is very similar. I'm sure it's probably named after Bryce Canyon, because I'll just pull up a picture of Bryce Canyon if you've never seen Bryce Canyon. As you can see, it has these huge, just cool-looking pillars of sandstone that are called hoodoos. But anyway, it has these huge, tall spikes of hardened clay, just like the hoodoos at Bryce Canyon, and it's pretty cool. I think it's really awesome looking, and there's not much to say about it, but it looks really awesome. Welcome to the Sunflower Plains biome. It's basically a normal plains biome except filled with those sunflowers that we talked about earlier. So it's pretty cool because it's basically, I'm pretty sure it's the only way to get sunflowers, and it just looks pretty cool. This is the dark forest biome. It's pretty awesome. It has these dark oak trees and some normal oak trees as well. But the really awesome part about it is it has giant mushrooms in it, so that makes it the second biome to naturally have dark mushrooms, or giant mushrooms in it, excuse me. And the rooftop, well, the roof is really thick enough that monsters will often spawn in here because of how dark it is. It doesn't let a lot of skylight through, so that's cool. Maybe kind of scary. Anyway, that's the dark forest biome. This is the birch forest. It's just a variant of the normal forest, except it's all birch trees. There's pretty much nothing to say about it. Here we have some roses and stuff, but it's basically just a normal forest, except completely made of birch trees. And that's cool if you like birch trees. Now here we have the flower forest. It's a variant of the normal forest, except it's just full of flowers. It has oxeye daisies, rose bushes, peonies, orange tulips, white tulips, red tulips, azure bleuet, allium, and possibly a few other flowers. But anyway, it's cool. Oh, pink tulip. I missed that one. Anyway, it's pretty cool. I keep saying that. Now here we have the mega taiga biome. The mega taiga biome is sort of similar to the normal taiga biome, except it has this grassless dirt all over the ground and the podzol. I'm assuming the reason they have the grassless dirt is so that the podzol doesn't spread, so that it seems like it's just leaves that fell from the trees and stuff. But it's pretty cool. I keep saying it, but it's definitely one of my favorites. It has these huge 2x2 spruce trees, and it's just pretty awesome. I don't know why it says it's a taiga biome on the F3, because it is mega taiga. Oh, I see. There's a taiga over here, or something. Anyway, this is the mega taiga, and it also has these quote-unquote boulders of moss stone scattered throughout. Just like if you've ever been in a big forest, you'll see there's always huge boulders of mossy stone. So that's pretty realistic. So that's the mega taiga biome. Now right here we have a slight variant of the mega taiga. It's the mega spruce taiga. It has a lot of trees that are similar to the normal spruce trees, except they're huge, as opposed to the other trees in the normal mega taiga biome, which just has these giant trees. And it also has a lot more smaller spruce trees scattered throughout. And that's about it for the mega taiga biome. A new version of the taiga biome. It's basically exactly the same as the normal taiga biome, except it doesn't have any snow. And this is now called the taiga biome. And what used to be called the taiga biome is now called the snowy taiga biome. And that's about it for this biome. Here we have a variant on the ocean biome, a new variant called the deep ocean. I just drank a night vision potion so that you can see. The floor is made entirely of gravel, and I don't know, it's kind of cool, I guess, if you want to get some gravel, but other than that, there's not much to it. And here we have the Ice Plains Spikes biome. The Ice Plains Spikes is a extremely rare variant of the Ice Plains biome, and it has these big, huge spikes of packed ice, the new packed ice, and it also has these lakes of normal lakes, but also quote-unquote lakes of packed ice spread randomly around the biome, like this one here. And it's great because if you want packed ice that doesn't melt, then this is where you can come. But it's pretty hard to find and extremely rare. A new variant of the Extreme Hills biome, which is the Extreme Hills Plus biome. It's basically an Extreme Hills biome that just has spruce trees. And that's about all there is to it. There's a new world type, and you select it just like the other world types. It's called the Amplified biome. I'll just put it on creative. Or the Amplified world type. See right here, Amplified. It says just for fun requires beefy computer. And as you'll see, when I click here, it's gonna slow down my computer for a minute here, and then you'll see that here we are in a desert biome, except it's ridiculously mountainous, because in the amplified biome, or the amplified world type, mountains go huge and canyons go really deep, and in fact sometimes all the way down to bedrock. The canyons go all the way down to bedrock. So it's pretty intense, and it's cool looking and extremely hard to survive in. I'll just fly around, see if I can find another biome, but I probably won't be able to. But anyway, as you can see, the desert, or the amplified world type is pretty awesome. Oh, here we go. We've got some other, we've got a savanna biome here that's amplified. And, whoa. Yeah, here's a savanna plateau, and you see it's just enormously huge. Like, let's see, this is all the way up at Y of 217. And if we just fall, we'll see that it just goes way down. Well, okay, maybe not too far down. But anyway, it's ridiculous. And here we have huge waterfalls and lava falls. And you see we're way above the clouds, because the clouds are right down here. And so it's madness. But it's awesome. And some people are probably going to think it's fun, but I think it's crazy. Now, as you may have noticed, there's this weird bug with beds right now, where it shows on the left side, it shows the texture backwards, so it shows what should be here. No, wait, it shows, yeah, it's weird. On this side, it's right, but on this side, it shows this texture backwards and this texture backwards. Yeah, it takes each of these textures and flips it, so that's a little weird. Now, as far as new blocks go, we also have the command block minecart. If I get a redstone torch, or if you push it over, you see you can just put a command in it, and I put time set night, and then it'll go. And if you have it going at full speed, as you'll see if I put this here, power that, it runs the command twice. Now I'll just set the time back to day. So that can be interesting. SethBling made a really cool command block that lays down rail as it goes with some of the new commands in using this command block minecart. But that's about all there is to do about that. Okay, I have no clue why those bats spawned. Anyway, next up we have the new fishing. This is pretty cool. So with fishing, that's interesting. Why don't I get the enchanted one? Anyway, with fishing, it used to just be that old fish that I didn't even put up here, but we have three new fish you can get. Clownfish, it says here it's the only way to tame ocelots, but that's actually wrong. I read that on the wiki, but it's not true. You can tame ocelots using any fish. It restores 1/2 a heart. It's pretty useless, and you can get all these from fishing. The pufferfish, which I think that one's cool looking, it gives you poison 4 for 1 minute, hunger 3 for 15 seconds, and nausea 3 for 15 seconds. So you really don't want to eat it, but it also restores 1/2 a heart. I'm just going to go into survival to show you what happens when I try and eat this. And it flies off into the water, of course. Oh, yes, because that makes sense over there. Okay, now I'm going to eat this, and you'll see what it does to my health. Okay, it's not letting me eat it. Okay, that must be like a bug, because it's not letting me eat this pufferfish. So you'll just have to take my word for it that it does that. Then we have the raw salmon that you can get from fishing, which restores 1 hunger. And then the cooked salmon restores 3.5 hunger, and that's pretty good. But the coolest thing about fishing, I wonder if I can get this now that I'm in survival with the enchantments. Yeah, I can. There's 2 new, well, first I'll go through this stuff. You can get treasure and junk from fishing as well. The treasure we have, you can get enchanted bows, enchanted books, enchanted fishing rods, name tags, saddles, and lily pads. I don't know why they think lily pads are treasure, but that's the treasure. As far as junk goes, you can get bowls, broken fishing rods, string, sticks, rotten flesh, leather, used boots, bones, ink sacs, and tripwire hooks. Tripwire hooks aren't actually that bad. They aren't exactly junk. Let me go back into creative here. And I forgot to mention, the use of the pufferfish is in the potion of water breathing. So you use it to make a potion of water breathing, and with a potion of water breathing, then you can obviously breathe in the water. Now we have 2 new enchantments for fishing rods as well, which are Lure and Luck of the Sea. So Luck of the Sea increases your chance of getting good stuff, treasure, or fish, and decreases your chance of getting junk. And Lure decreases the amount of time it takes for you to catch fish. Now, as you can see, we also have these new fishing particles. Bubbles just pop up everywhere randomly. And when a fish is going to, when you're going to catch a fish, as you just saw there, it shows bubbles coming towards your fishing rod. And as you see, I caught a raw salmon. That's everything as far as the new fishing mechanics go. Wait, I'm filming, right? Yep. Okay, so now I'll just talk about some of the random changes. Sugarcane. Sugarcane has a new texture. It doesn't have those white lines through it like it used to. It's a little bit greener. And the tint changes based on the biome. Now, boats have changed back to the old controls because in 1.6 they got this, or maybe it was 1.5. I think it was 1.5. They got this weird thing where you can't control it using W, A, S, and D, and they changed it back to the old controls. And that might have actually been a bug. It's not quite known. But you can also sprint in boats now. Okay, so we're going to go through some of the new achievements. They added a bunch of achievements. So the Beaconator achievement, well, I'll start down here. With new achievements. Okay, so diamonds to you. If you throw diamonds to another player or a zombie and they pick it up, so if a zombie picks up diamonds you throw, then you get diamonds to you. You have to have the diamonds achievement, obviously, before you can get that. Repopulation. If you breed cows, then you get the repopulation achievement, and you have to already have the cow tipper achievement. Adventuring time. If you discover all the biomes, you get adventuring time. You have to already have the end, question mark. The beginning, when you spawn the wither, you get the beginning achievement, and you have to already have the end, period. And to get the beginning period is when you kill the wither, and you have to already have the beginning question mark, which is, you're going to have it, because to make a wither, you have to have killed a wither. And then Beaconator is when you craft a beacon, and you have to, it requires the beginning, which makes sense because you have to have killed a wither to get the beacon. Now, speaking of achievements, the achievements screen has been changed up. So, as you see now, we have it so that achievements you already have are light like this. And then the next one, it has the green line to with the arrow to the thing, like before. I think that's like before. Now, achievements that are 5 or more, now the achievements will get progressively darker, and achievements that where you have to get 5 more to get it won't even show up when you roll your hand over them, and they'll be almost black. So, like, diamonds to you here, I think that's what, yeah, diamonds to you, it's black because I have to get time to mine, hot topic, acquire hardware, and diamonds before I can get diamonds to you. And you can also zoom in and zoom out on the achievement screen using your mouse's scroll wheel, which is cool because you can see all the achievements like this. And that's all the changes as far as achievements go. Now, flint and steel is now a shapeless crafting recipe. So if I get myself some iron and some flint, I can put them in any order in the crafting bench. I'm just going to get a crafting bench to take along with me. I can put them in any arrangement now, and it doesn't make a difference. And that's pretty cool. So I can just put this here and put this here. It doesn't make a difference. Put them anywhere. Whereas before you had to put them like that exactly. So now, creepers. Creepers can now be ignited using flint and steel. Okay. So if I get myself a creeper spawn egg and a flint and steel, I'll spawn a creeper in here. And you see I can just right click it with the flint and steel, and it'll instantly blow up. And it blew these things out of the item frames. Alright, so let's see, there's some other random stuff that I just put on this wall here. The sky gets darker when you're underneath blocks now, so if I go to the middle of this block thing, you'll see the sky got a lot darker. I've come out here, and it bright, It should be getting... I'm just gonna... It's supposed to get darker and lighter. And it's not. And I don't know why. But it should be. You can now hit... When you're holding down W, you can hit Control to sprint. And you can actually change that in the options. But instead of hitting WW, you can hit W and then Control. And you only have to hit Control once. You don't have to hold it down. So that's cool. If you're into that, I just use the old one because I'm so used to it. Let me clear up my inventory here. Okay, so you can also sprint on horses now, quote-unquote sprint, and falling. So now you have particles when you fall based on the distance you fell. So if I fall here, you see there were huge particles that shot out. Unicode characters can be on signs, apparently. I don't know what that means. So after coordinate 30 million in any direction, all the blocks are solid. So prior to this, all the blocks were not solid. If you went to TP, 29,999,999, then you step one step beyond that, you just fall through, all the way through the bedrock, through the void. And now it's solid. So if I go here, you'll see I can't, no matter how hard I try, I can't get past this wall. It's just completely solid. And I'm trying to go straight up against the wall, but I can't. It's just solid. I can't mine the blocks. See, I get this block, and I can't mine these blocks. They won't even show a bounding box. They're just solid. You can't, it doesn't make a difference. Okay, we have a few new statistics too. Distance by horse, junk fish, treasure fished. Apparently there's mob statistics, but I don't know what that means. Dead bushes can be put on stained clay, hardened clay, and dirt now. Which makes sense, in preparation for the Mesa biome, I guess. Well, not in preparation, but because of the Mesa biome. They removed all the items for technical blocks, so you can't get yourself a rushing water item or a portal block item in your inventory in creative anymore. Achievements and statistics now work as objectives and are per world or server. So now every time you start a new world, you're going to get your achievements again. And they did that per world server so that you could have them as scoreboard objectives. Armor, bows, and fishing rods and swords can now get the Unbreaking enchantment from enchanting tables. I'm not going to try to get it. You'll just have to trust my word. URLs and screenshots can be opened from the chat, and names in the chat can be clicked to PM them. I'm not going to demonstrate. You'll just have to trust me. Now, written books can be cloned and stacked. If I right-click on here, then I put all these in there. As you see, oh, okay, sorry. First I'll show you the book. A written book. This book has been written. Real clever, huh? So anyway, if I put this in here and I put all these books and quills around the book, like this, there we go. Now I have 9 copies of that book, and they can all stack. Now, weighted pressure plates. Let me make sure. Yeah. So pressure plates now put out a signal based on the number of entities on them. So for every 10 entities on the heavy pressure plate, you get another redstone dot thing. And then for every 1 entity on the light pressure plate, you get another one. So I'll just go through these. 1, you see we have 1 signal. 2, 3, 4. Let me turn down the mob noises. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and it's still there. Now when I go to 1 more, 11, it goes ahead 1. And so I could keep going all the way up to 20, but you can just take my word for it. Okay, and now with this one, like I said, it's 1. So get 1, and it's 1. Get another, and it's 2. Get another, and it's 3. And just like that. I'm going to set it to peaceful just to kill off all these guys here. Okay, now the texture of glass is no longer visible through adjacent glass. So if we look through here, it looks like there's no glass behind it, but actually there is, going all the way back there. And then as you see, if I look through this one only goes back to there, so you can see the ones that aren't adjacent to it. Okay, now something people are really excited about is the new stained glass. Stained glass is crafted in the same way as stained hardened clay. You take the dye and then you put glass all around it, just like with hardened clay. You take the dye and you put hardened clay all around it. So we have all the standard colors of stained glass and panes. So it looks really cool. And if I go back, you see we got a little nice little rainbow here. And so also glass can connect to iron bars now, which is pretty awesome. What I put here? Yeah, it's crafted the same as stained clay. Okay, now I'll put myself into survival. Filled cauldrons put out burning entities, but it also loses some of the water. So if I go into this, catch on fire, I'm on fire. Then I go into the cauldron, then it put me out, but it also lost some of its water. So if I do this 3 times, my health go back up because it's peaceful. My health's going up fast. And if I do this one more time, then it has no more water in it. Oh yeah, music pauses when you pause Minecraft now. I ran out of space on that wall for the random facts, so I kind of spread them around randomly. Now the textures of all these, the top textures of the wooden logs have been changed so now they're closer to the top texture of the planks that they go along with. So all these have been changed except for oak. Oak was not changed. Oak is the same as it's always been, but the rest of these were changed to be more similar to that. Over here we've got witches. Witches can now spawn along with the normal mobs in the dark, and witch huts generate with witches already in them. They also added that witches can drop potions of water breathing now that we have potions of water breathing, and they usually spawn in pairs. Let me go over here. I think I covered everything in this section. Alright, so maps in item frames expand to the entire block, and the unexplored part of the map in the item frame is clear. I'll just wait for this map to fill out here. So if I place it in here, it'll expand to fill the whole block, and then it shows the item frame texture on the side. Now this one that's barely filled out, it'll show an item frame behind it. So you see that little part there that's filled out, you see that, and the rest of it you see the item frame. You can now just hit things and they'll fall out of the item frame instead of disappearing. Also, named items, it'll show the name above it. If you're looking at the item frame, it'll show the name of the item. Now nether portals. As we all know, nether portals used to have to be 4x5. Well, now they can be anywhere from 4x5 up to 23x23. And that is a giant nether portal, which means you can have giant zombie pigman farms. Oh, by the way, since we're speaking of maps, I'll go over here and show you that colored clay and colored wool now have textures on the map. So you'll see, I put these next to each other for comparison, and as you see, the colored clay and colored carpet or colored wool are the same color, and I just drew a creeper there for fun. And okay, now I'll go on to some of the changes to the settings. Alright, now we're going to look through some of the changes to the options menu. So first of all, the resource packs. Resource packs can now be layered, so I can have, for example, if I want to put on the Lithos resource pack and I want all the mobs to look like Steve, then I can have both those resource packs on. And so as you see, the Lithos resource pack is on, and if I just get some spawn eggs in here, like creeper, then it uses the Steve texture, like it's supposed to from the Steve resource pack. Oh, and you can move them up and down and choose precedence, except the default is always at the bottom. Let's just change it back to the normal resource pack. Okay, so now in the music and sounds, we now have sounds for all these different things. The master volume is what used to just be sounds, and then music you can turn up and down like before. Jukeboxes and note blocks now have their own sounds, so you can have the normal game music off but your jukebox on. Weather you can turn up and down so that you can have the rain not off. Blocks is, I think, from stuff like fire, or maybe that's ambient / environment. I'm not sure I'm not quite sure. Friendly creatures is, of course, passive or neutral mobs, and hostile creatures is hostile mobs, and players is sounds made by players. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Invert mouse, touchscreen mode, and sensitivity have been moved to the controls, and it's been completely reconfigured, organized into gameplay, inventory, etc. So you can now customize what your hotbar key is for the inventory to whatever you want. I'm just going to change it back to 1 though. And miscellaneous, you can change for screenshot, and now you can pick whatever key for the cinematic camera and for perspective, so all that stuff. Whoops, let me change this back to none. Reset. Okay, and then you can change for jump and all this stuff, just like you could before, but it's just kind of rearranged. Now, there have been several changes to the video settings as well. So if we go in there, you see the render distance is now a slider from 2 up to 16 chunks instead of short, far, and tiny, and normal. Max frame rate is now goes from 10 to 250 FPS and then unlimited. I'm just going to put it in the middle. And now they have mip mapping and anisotropic filtering. So I will demonstrate that for you guys a little bit. As you see, if I go into the options and change mip map all the way off, you might not be able to tell much of a difference. But if I change, so you see now stuff far away can look kind of blurry and funny. Like back there, it looks blurry, right? Now if I turn anisotropic filtering up all the way, then it's not supposed to look quite so blurry. I can't really tell a difference, but it's supposed to make a difference. The server list has been changed around, so if we go to multiplayer, you can see you can now have server icons, such as I do here with the Wonderworld treehouse. And also, if you scroll over the number of players on the server, it shows what players are on the server, such as iBigin13, as it shows there. Also, you can hit F5 to refresh the server list. You guys can't quite see as well because I only have one server on the list. But and you can also have multi-line comments. These comments, like this says "A World of Wonder," you can have them multi-line, except I haven't demonstrated that here. Alright everybody, let me just put out this nether portal. Oh, also, you can now put out nether portals by clicking any block on them. It doesn't have to be one on the edge. I think that's different from something. Anyway, block and item IDs now use block names. So if I say /give GUI98 and then you put the block ID like 1, then it'll give me stone, and then it gives a warning. Using numeric IDs will not be supported in the future. Please use names such as Minecraft Stone. So then you can say /give GUI98 Minecraft stone, or whoops, give GUI98 Minecraft dirt. And so that's how it is, and in the future that's going to be the only option, and they did that for the modding API that they will implement at some point in the future. So now we're going to get into the new commands. If you don't care about command blocks, then I will encourage you to just stop the video right now and not watch the rest, because that's all we're going to talk about for the rest of the video is the new commands. Alright, so first of all, you can now /give items with custom, oh yeah, I forgot I was on creative, with custom properties. So here I have /give GUI98 39713. 397 is the thing for a 397 is the code for a mob head, and then 1 is the thing, and 3 is human variation. And then I say the skull owner, who is the player's skin owner, is GUI98. So if I click this, it'll give me a head, and if I place it, it's my head. And it takes a second to show up, but that's pretty cool. You used to have to do that in MC Edit or NBT Edit or one of those things. And so I can put in any person, like Jeb. I like Jeb's skin, that's why I'm using him. And then it'll turn into Jeb, and I can do mine. And that's pretty cool. Or I can put in Seth Bling, and I'll get Mario. And so I think it doesn't show the, yeah, it doesn't have the what's it called? It doesn't have the helmet on. But other than that, okay, so then here I have, you can also give them custom display stuff, which before you had to do with MC Edit or NBT Edit. So here I have /give at P, or player, Minecraft::bone 1 0, and then display, and then name dinner bone, or a bone for dinner. So I click this, I get dinner bone, and once this thing goes away, I'll wait for it to go away. Okay, now you see when I scroll into this it says dinner bone, and if I roll over it, it says in the lore a bone for dinner. /time set night now sets the time to 13,000 instead of 12,000, and /time set day sets the time to 1,000 rather than 0. They got rid of the 256 character command limit. They made it like, 1,000 or 10,000 characters or something ridiculous that you'd never need. And it shows what command you've recently run. So if I hit this, or if I look in here, it shows what it last did, which is given 1 dinner bone to GUI98. Okay, so you can now have custom sounds. So the way this works is, it's a little bit complicated, but I'll put on my resource pack that's custom sounds. And now I have implemented a custom sound, and the custom sound is titled awesome. So if I do /play sound awesome, /play sound awesome, and then you have to say who it's to, GUI98. This pre-recorded sound is customized by me. That was the sound, so I'll play it again. This pre-recorded sound, and that's it, is customized by me. So that's pretty funny, I guess. And then what I do here. Oh yeah, so they have 2 new server commands. /set world spawn sets the spawn for the world to that location, and it might work on single player too. Okay, and now if I die, and nope, it doesn't work on single player, but it works on multiplayer if you're an op. And the other new server command is /set idle timeout, and then the number of minutes, and that just sets the idle timeout so you don't have to do it in server.properties. Now here we have /set block. So if I break this dirt block, it'll place one there. Okay, and you just say /set block, and then the XYZ, and then the thing, and then whether you want to replace or destroy, I don't quite understand how that works. Okay, so now we have /test4 block 37, or you give the place, the location, and so you see the way comparators work coming out of command blocks is if the last command was successful, then it turns on. If it wasn't, then it turns off. So if I break this and hit it, you'll see that it was unsuccessful. But if I place one there and then do it, you'll see that it was successful and the lights turn on. And then I break it again, and now it was unsuccessful. Okay, now here we have /achievement give. So now I already tested this, so I'll have to choose a different achievement, like diamonds or something. So then if you hit this, you have /achievement give, and then the achievement name, achievement dot the achievement name, and then the player, and then it'll give you that achievement and all achievements leading up to it. So you see, it just gave me the achievement time to mine, hot topic, acquire hardware, and diamonds. Because to get time to mine, or to get diamonds, you need to already have time to mine, hot topic, acquire hardware, and acquire hardware. And so it gave me all those, and then diamonds. Okay, now here we have, sorry, I keep saying now here we have, but this is the /tell raw command. I'm not going to get into the code because it took me a really long time to figure it out, like a ridiculously long time. But basically, you do thankfully I had a backup copy of the world saved, so this can still be here. So as you see, it says it has this huge long command, and when I hit it, it says, you want a hopper? Click here. So if I click there, if I click around, nothing happens. If I click there, it gives me a hopper. So that super long command, all it did was that. And I think you can give them custom data and all that stuff. But this ridiculously long command, all that did was say, you want a hopper? Click here. And when I clicked there, it gave me the hopper. So last of all, we have the /summon command. You can summon any entity in the game. So I can do /summon. Just ignore the command stuff there. Cow, and then relative to my position. And the object was successfully summoned. Now, the thing about this command is you can now, I'm just going to spam this cow, okay, is you can now summon any object that, even the ones that are coded into the game but don't normally show up, you can still summon them. So that's pretty awesome. There's my dinner bone. So that means that you can summon in giants and anything that is like a ghast. Like if I do /summon ghast, I'm going to put it 15 blocks above my head. And there we have a ghast. And it's not normally in this dimension. And that's kind of cool. And you can also summon stuff like the undead horses and ender dragon and stuff that you can't normally get. And this here is very dangerous, and you'll see why. Oh look, a giant riding an ender dragon. Yeah. And they're basically going to destroy everything, probably. Maybe not. But I think that's pretty comical, because normally you can't even get giants in the game, but they are hard-coded in, and it's funny. And so, hey, let's see if I light this nether portal, if he'll go through into the nether. Maybe not. Oh no, he broke it. Okay, anyway, I think that's just hilarious. We've got a giant riding an ender dragon, and giants normally aren't even able to get in the game, but I can just /summon giant, and there we go. Now I have a giant, and he and he's huge, and it's hilarious. Anyway, that's all there is for this video. See you guys next time. Oh, and I think I forgot to mention that thunderstorms, the light level actually drops to 7 now, whereas before it dropped, or mobs could spawn as if it had dropped to 7, but the light level was actually still at 12. So anyway, that's everything for this video. See you next time. Goodbye.